Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here, back with a vengeance. I know that it's been a while, and I also know that I was very sick. So hopefully, now that I've learned my lesson, I'll have some backup content, and that won't happen again. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and jump right in. Today, I wanted to look at a game called One Deck Dungeon Forest of Shadows. This is very new. The Kickstarter and backer kit kids are just now getting this. I think the US shipping, I just got a thing saying that they're fully fulfilled. I might be wrong on that. I got this, I want to say 3 or 4 days ago, with a bunch of other games. I'm going to be doing a video of this, and then I'm going to also be posting another video later today as well. I really encourage you to check it out. But again, I'm still going to be making some backup content, just in case. But if you're interested, go check out the other video that I will be posting today, which is Alien Artifacts. But we're talking about One Deck Dungeon, so let's jump in. As you can see, before we get into the actual unboxing, this is the same size as the first One Deck Dungeon. Jump right into here, and we got ourselves the rulebook. And when you first start looking through this rulebook, the only major difference you're going to see is these green boxes. And these green boxes are specifically some of the differences that you'll be seeing with the Forest of Shadows as opposed to the original game. So as you can see, there's very little differences as far as gameplay is concerned. They keep it relatively close to that of the original One Deck Dungeon game. There are, however, minor differences which they do explain in the very back of the book. Right here, we've got Poison, and we've got Exile. We've got the Split Loot Perils, the Cure Potion, and then Hybrid Dungeon. I'll explain that briefly, but I don't want to go too in-depth about that. Essentially, you can mix cards from the original set that have this symbol up in their upper right-hand corner, I believe, and set cards from this set with this symbol and create a hybrid dungeon. But I'm not going to go into big detail about that, so I'll let you guys discover that one. Poison is also very interesting. With Poison, you don't take damage from the poison unless you fail to resist the poison. And so basically, each turn that you do an explore action, you're going to be rolling 1 die to resist poison. And if you roll higher than the number of poison counters that are on your character, then you succeed and you remove a poison counter from that character. However, if you fail, you'll remove the poison counter still, but you will also replace it with +2 damage. Or just 2 damage, my bad, not +2. As it reads here, half of the cards in this set have this little green leaf up here, and that leaf is a representation of a type of herb that helps your explorer resist the poison. So anytime you have these face-up symbols showing, you will get a +1 to your die roll. So those are nice to have around. Exile is a new mechanic that basically, when it explains to exile something, like for instance a die, that die is put into the game box and you will never get access to it again. So it is going to limit your dice pool, which is really interesting and can get crazy out of control, I can imagine. Cure Potion I'm going to go into when I actually get to the card, because it's a new mechanic. And the Split Loot Perils I'm going to do as well. But this is the rule book, and for the most part it's the same rule book. It's when you get to page 28 and 29 that you start seeing the in-depth description to the changes and the rules. And then there's a story mode. And of course, there's still a campaign mode. I haven't laminated this one yet, and I will be because it actually has different bosses. But so they still have their campaign mode, so that's pretty cool. And then turn reference card. So this is where I was going to explain the potion thing. So we have the turn reference card. Everything about it is the same except one minor difference, which is the cure potion as opposed to the heal potion. In this particular case, this effect is actually added on to whichever potion you have stored here. So if you have multiple potions, this effect is just added on to those potions. More importantly, at the beginning of the game, you're going to choose a basic potion out of 4 that are available to put underneath this card, so that this effect isn't just a dead effect until you get a potion. And it reads basically that you heal 1 wound or 1 poison at any time that a potion effect is used, or any time a potion is gained, which I think is much more powerful, because the idea of getting the effect when the potion is gained is pretty cool. Or you can always just consume 1 potion token to heal 1 damage, which is a complete waste of that power. But the option is there, should you choose to do so. The boss fight side is the same. Again, I'm still getting my voice back. Sorry about the coughing. Next, we have the new characters. We have the Hunter. The Hunter is a lot like the Archer. Their heroic feats are different, and their little skill is different as well. So there's the Hunter, the Druid, the Warden, the Slayer, and the Alchemist. Now we have also Kalyana. This, however, is not part of Forest of Shadows so much as it was just a... I want to call it a promo, but it's not really a promo either. This was available in PDF format on their website for anybody who wanted to print her and add her to the game. So it was actually available when it was just One Deck Dungeon before the expansion. However, now she was officially printed by the folks that make One Deck Dungeon, as opposed to having to go out and do it yourself. So, Kalyana. A bunch more counters. The white ones are the potions, as I indicated in my previous One Deck Dungeon video. The red ones are your health tokens, and the green ones are the poison tokens. So this is how you're going to indicate how many poison tokens you have on your character. And having a lot of poison tokens doesn't necessarily mean you're going to take any damage, but the more you have, the more deadly it does become. I like that mechanic. More dice! Yay! I don't really feel like I have to go into this one. They're the exact same dice, so woo! And lots of new cards. Alright. Let's take a look at these guys. As you can see, they're basically set up exactly the same, because it's not a different game. It is the same game. We have our XP up here. We have the type of encounter it is. The green leaf, which you only see on half of these cards. This means that it'll be easier to resist poison on your turn if this is face up. These are the items that they give you should you defeat the challenge, or I guess just in general when you try to defeat the challenge. This is the skill that it creates, should you choose to take the skill. And of course, the fun boxes of doom. This is an example right here where you have the exile. You're going to lose a heroic die and a yellow sword die just by encountering this dude. So that's scary. It like I said, it really limits your pool as you get as you continue to go on through the dungeon. Giant spider, ice room, Thorn Spitter. It's a trap. Dire Boar. Poison Cloud. Panther. Now this is what they were talking about, split loot. So you'll notice that there is an arrow pointing down the skill and an arrow pointing to the item. So if you were to use the sneak by action and roll the pink die, you would only actually be able to choose this as an item once the encounter has been finished. Whereas if you chose to charm it using blue mana die, you would only be able to use the skill. So it's important to understand that and decide accordingly when you are doing challenges like this. Another Panther, Wisp. These guys are really, really difficult to beat, and you'll notice they have a lot of poison, so be careful with those guys. Vortex Stone is another split loot. Rope Bridge. Trap. Guess that's true. Vine Trap. This one you're going to get poisoned no matter what. Well, assuming that you fail. Bramblefield, same thing. If you fail, you're going to get poisoned regardless of which path you choose. Ooh, that sucks. So if you face this guy potentially with a lot of poison counters on your character, you could die. That's pretty crazy. No, by the way. Shadowstalker. Moss Golem. Sharp Cliffs. Another giant spider, another thorn spitter, Spikelon, Great Spirit. Great Spirits are interesting. It's another split card. I never really considered the idea of the Great Spirit to be malevolent, but maybe she's not being malevolent. Maybe she's testing you? I don't know. Another trickster, a goblin, rockworm. I mean, that's just mean. Razorbark. I think it's cool. These guys, so far, a lot of them have a lot of XP, so they're actually heavily worth taking as XP. Makes the decision making a lot harder. Rune Circle, another split loot. And that's it. Basically, same game. Very little differences as far as setup. Just, you know, the minor things like the poison and whatnot. The level, everything has stayed the same. This is the basic potions that I was talking about earlier. You get to choose one of these at the beginning of the game to kind of add to the turn reference, and the effect will happen as well as the effect that the turn reference has. So that's pretty cool. The basic ability or basic skills, just like the first game. Nothing special here. Stairs. Nothing changed here. Go into the dungeons real quick here. We have the Mudlands. Yeah. And the Mud Golem. That's crazy. I wonder how easy he is to kill. At the start of each round, exile 4 dice. Okay, so this... Ooh, that guy's scary. He's the easy boss, too. Remember in the... my one deck dungeon review video, you can tell the difficulty of the dungeon by the number of diamonds up here, so 1 is the easiest. Oh. Oop, we wanted to save that for last. Sorry, guys. Realm of Venom. For the Poison Elemental, which is a giant scorpion. At the end of each round, exile 1 poison token. Oh. Yep, that's the Realm of Venom. The Vile Roots. This is going to be a corrupted tree, which is terrifying in itself. If you manage to cover all of his damage boxes, where he takes the damage, you add a poison to a hero. That's just dirty. Smoldering Ruins. Obviously, you can't have a dungeon without some sort of fire. So here we have our fire giant. I don't know what he's doing anywhere near a forest, but there you go. Fire giant. Oh wow, that's really messed up. Rolled dice only half rounded up of each type of stat icon. You'd be having to stack yourself to really do anything major to this guy. Lair of Indrax. And of course, you cannot have a forest, or a dungeon for that matter, without a dragon. Only this time, they made the dragon amongst the harder encounters as opposed to the original one-deck dungeon where it was the easier encounter. Still don't know how that made sense, but whatever. Any 3s rolled are immediately discarded. That's unfortunate. And then last but not least, this goes along with Kalyana, Phoenix's Den. This was, again, I want to say it's promo, but it's not really a promo. They had it offered in PDF file. You could go print it yourself. And it was just an extra boss. 2 diamonds, so it's like medium difficulty. And if you played this game, medium difficulty doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's still freaking hard. So Phoenix Den, the Phoenix. And then, like I said, I still think this is available up on their site. So if you still want to, you can go get the PDF files and print these out. This is just an official print by the company. For those of you who buy One Deck Dungeon. So yeah, deal 1 damage to the Phoenix if all skull boxes are covered. 0 otherwise. Ooh, that is scary. But again, it's a Phoenix, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's the Phoenix. There are a couple of things. They have the Hordes of the Shadows. Yeah, for the 4-player variant. Just in case you want to make the game a little bit more difficult for you with 4 players. I've never played with 4 players. In fact, I've never played anything but solo. So I don't know how difficult it is to begin with. But it concerns me that they had to create something else to add more difficulty. What do I know, though? Oh, even more... Wow, are you kidding me? Use this side if both dungeon decks are from the same set. Use this side if you're doing a hybrid dungeon. Dang. Oh yeah, and if you're doing a 4-player variant, you need 2 one-deck dungeon sets. So, just FYI. This side obviously is for the hybrid. And then the poison reference, just to make it easier, it's available. This is just the hybrid dungeon reference as well, just so you know. It's good to, I'm glad that they had this card, so that you're not constantly flipping through the rulebook, because I'm pretty sure the turn reference, that's right, doesn't have anything on there for it. So here's your poison reference. Very nice that they added this. Obviously, eventually you'll have it memorized, but it's just nice to have. And that is One Deck Dungeon Forest of Shadows. That is everything that you'll be getting in the box, minus the sleeves. Again, sorry guys, I sleeved it. I can't help it. All in all, like I said, plays exactly the same as One Deck Dungeon with some minor differences with poison and exiles and whatnot. This is your dice pool, so if you can imagine things getting exiled slowly but surely, that really kind of sucks. It's neat that they added these guys. I was about to print these, so I'm glad I didn't have to print them. Kind of cool that I have these now, the Phoenix and Kaliana. They are on the website. One thing I will point out that really kind of irked me is, if you can see really closely here, whoever they chose for shipping when they did this, hell, I don't even know what they were doing when they packaged it. It didn't have any bubble wrap, any cushioning, anything. It was in a shipper, a thin shipper too, not a bubble shipper, a thin shipper. And of course it came with this corner damage and a dent that was a lot deeper in this edge of the box, except that I pushed it out from the inside because I could. But that kind of upset me. What the heck, One Deck Dungeon? Why did you do this to me? Or I should say, what the heck, Osmata Games and Chris Cieslik? Why did you do this to me? But, you know, for it being what it is, the box is still usable and extra content, guys. I want to do another video after I've played it, but I'm probably not going to, because it probably wouldn't be any different than my One Deck Dungeon review video. So check it out, guys. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments below. Also, recently I've been having people request games for me to take a look at. The most recent one being Epic Spell Wars, which I will be doing a video for. Especially considering they just came out with their third set, and also 100 Swords. Unfortunately, I don't have 100 Swords on the shelf. I encourage you guys to go check out my Board Game Geeks profile under J Franz, Frantz, because that has my entire archived collection available up there, and you can kind of see what's there, and if you're interested in seeing a video, I can actually post a video for any of those. But yeah, any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will get to them ASAP. And like I said, check out my next video, and until next time, that was One Deck Dungeon. Peace!